So I'm going to go through with you 10 common reasons why we have resistance. And I want you to look at them and go, which ones are present in your organization? And I'm going to do 5 at a time. So, loss of control, too much uncertainty, surprise, surprise, cost of confusion, loss of face, concerns about competence, more work, ripple effects, past resentments, and real threats. Look at those 10. Which ones are the most powerful ones for your organization? Next to last assignment for the day. So talk amongst yourselves for a couple minutes. Which ones of these really resonate in your organization? Which ones are most powerful in creating resistance? Which one did you identify as most powerful? How about here? So, past resentments, but all 10 resonate in some way. And here's one of the things you have to do. For each one of these, there is a strategy for coping. And so, part of what you have to do is identify which ones are most powerful and what kind of strategy are you going to get. So when it's past resentments about what? Did people overpromise and not deliver? That'll create resentment. Now, were there personnel practices that people felt were unfair? Creates resentment. So you have to go resentment about what? Where does it come from? And in a lot of cases, it is about feeling things were unfair. And so one of the things you want to look at is trust. What are the things we can do that will build trust? And let's be very cautious. And if people really feel traumatized by the past, they get a version of PTSD. Now, I don't want to trivialize PTSD, so they get a mild version where they're hypervigilant. They're looking for tiny things that would say you're being bad again. And it means you have to be very, you have to be hypervigilant yourself about how you're building trust. How about this table?
Yeah, it's about the cost of confusion.
The cost of confusion.
There are too many things that are changing and interrupting the routine and making it hard to know how to let it down.
So part of it you have to then titrate, the cost of confusion, too many things changing at the same time, is are you going to pace the change out so that things change in a more sequential way and people have more time to cope? Or if there is indeed a lot of change that you have to have, should you go ahead and go, we will cope with the chaos so we can get on the other side of it? But what people need when there's change is clarity about the new expectations. Assurance that the skills necessary to be successful will be present. And that I'm going to teach you how to be successful before I start evaluating you as on your new performance standards. I have to be able to walk you through the process. How about over here, this table back here?
I think that similar to the other group, all
Mhm.
apply in certain situations. We had kind of identified surprise as one of the two. And I think a lot of things that come into play there, less than funding impacts or crisis situations that come up,
Yeah.
day-to-day things that are less than information.
So part of what people want to know is they're hearing about it at the same time you're hearing about it. So they'll cope with surprise if the ministry has sprung it on you. But if there were indicators that it was coming and you didn't share, then surprise, surprise, and resentment. So it's transparency. And it's transparency without making anybody the scapegoat. You don't want the ministry to be the scapegoat. You want it to be honest transparency. Here's what, as soon as we know, you'll know. And then, are there things where you're going, we have to figure this out? Because there are things that boards of directors have to sort through and decisions to be made where you're not going to share the process. Because you shouldn't share the process. If people are trying to decide, should we cut here, should we cut here, should we cut over here, you can create anxiety across all three areas. So, yeah, again, transparency includes what I'm not going to be transparent about and why. Other tables? Come up with other things? For each one of these, again, there are strategies, and the strategies overlap. So transparency, trust. When you're really looking at change, you can say, here's the desired outcome. Here's what we're thinking about how we're going to get there. And reassuring people that you're going to help them have the skills necessary to be able to get there.